All right, we are back with War 2 of Season 30. We are taking on DSVG. I'm taking in Doom, Falcon, and Mr. Negative. I will be assigned Path 1 in Section 1 and Path 8 in Section 2 with a middle mini-boss on Power Snack. All right, so still kind of getting used to the different boost tabs. So you're going to see a lot of searching when I'm trying to figure out where boosts are. Eventually it'll become a habit. But taking this Arcus on Vigorous Assault, Arc Overload, it's really just a light show battle. And what I mean by that is it's just when using Doom, it's just spamming SP3 after SP3 after SP3. You're not really going to power drain Arcus enough to keep him below SP2, but you are going to at least maybe keep him from SP3 unless you're in like a lull between SP2 and SP1 or SP3. So waiting out the unblockable, invulnerability boost on in case we take a bunch of SP3s. As soon as we get one of his power gains nullified, then it's off to the races for SP3. And here we're just being patient until we get to our SP3. I did not see the shock fall off there, so we got to whiff a heavy. Doesn't matter, going right into SP3. Big SP3 hit here. Now I'm going to do medium, light, 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 light all the way out. Nullify some boosts, but also to keep him from his SP3 as we build to our SP3. So now he's well under 50%. Launching this big SP3 with 2 Furies this time. And now we're going to go back to that medium, light, 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 light. And down he goes. So super easy fight for Doom, especially since it's a path fight with the lower hit points. Moving on to Spider-Gwen here on Masochism. Going to use Falcon here. I do have Resonate spec'd pretty much always, just because I usually end up bringing Mr. Negative somewhere, and that just helps with the degen and some dot damage when we have Dark Energy. So my game plan here is to get locked on, but not actually to utilize parry at all. So that's the only parry you're going to see. The rest I'm going to block bait heavies. So it may look like the block is coming right when I finish my combo in kind of a parry timing, but my finger is actually on the screen ready to block as the animation for the last hit is happening. So I've already said block, and therefore it's not going to trigger a parry there. It's just going to immediately go into a block. Waiting out the locked on timer. Now we're good to go. Locked on baiting a heavy and throw SP2. Nope. We just comboed her out. So another nice and easy path fight. Moving on to this Doom. It is not a rank 4. It's just a rank 3. We do have a Mr. Fantastic Petrify to help with the early aura activation. It's just going to prevent him having his aura up when I throw SP2 or when it's about time for me to throw SP2. Since I'm not using, did I use an APB? I used an APB here. Yeah, I used an APB here. So it's to prevent him from having his aura up when I'm ready to throw SP2. So the heavy's going to constantly reset it or just knocking him down. Here he's not really wanting to throw this. So convert since our light energy is about to expire. And we're going to drop at 11. So 3 Petrifies and 12 degen debuffs along with the 2 extra debuffs. And now we're just going to casually throw in some evade counters and combo him just to kind of finish it off. I see that he has more health than I kind of expected. We got to SP2 too quickly. We didn't have enough dark energy, so I'm going to build back up to another SP2. And we're going to build that dark energy. I don't think I go above 10. I might. I think I parry heavy here. Yep. Against the wall heavy. Again. And down he goes. So smooth Doom fight. More evade counters than I needed in case there was unphased, but works out. Didn't think I was going to get to this Dormammu in the same set of buffs, so Moving on to this Dormammu on path 8, and this is an interesting situation. Dormammu still triggers the degen from a buff expiring when I convert my buff to light energy, which is fine because Mr. Negative will heal it. However, this is a heal block path. So we have to play this Dormammu like we don't want to trigger Dex. So in APB, I'm going to parry medium light, back off, set myself up for another parry medium light, and rinse and repeat until I get to close to 10 light energy. Then I'll convert that. I probably won't bait out a special. I'll probably try and build 2 or 3 more light energy, convert that. So right here, convert and drop SB2. So now he's got enough debuffs that if he throws this special, I can go ahead and bait it, and the degen resistance is gonna make the degen damage 0. But as you saw, he was not willing to throw that SP1, so I got a degen buff. Not a big deal. I think we had 2 unique debuffs on, maybe 1. So we're not taking much damage, and down he goes. So just had to adjust the strategy there. All right, so next 2 are a bit sloppy. It took them a little later, hence the reboosting. I have this Storm Pyramid X with Doom on, it's not Rise to Power, what is it? Shoot, what is the name of the buff? Rich Get Richer, haha. But since she is a high ground champ and Doom causes shock on his basic attacks, his medium specifically, I had a game plan in my head on how to approach this. So the game plan in my head was parry heavy to get a stagger up or 2. Parry light when we didn't really need to get a stagger up, but we wanted to up the combo to maybe remove a high ground charge. And if we needed to retaliate SP1 with a medium, not do medium heavy because the shock may not land, in which case we could finish out the combo with light attacks. But instead do a medium light to give us time to see if there's a shock debuff there to throw a heavy to get rid of it, because we just don't want the shock to sit. And as you see here, I forgot about the stagger converting a buff into a shock. So not too big of a deal. The only important part there is to go in and throw your heavy immediately so we can remove the shock so it doesn't speed up the high ground timer. My only special attack focus here was really SB3. You're going to see why here with this first one. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but I can't throw SB2. That'll put Incinerates on her, and she won't glance those, so it's definitely going to place the Incinerates. And I didn't really want to throw SB1 because of earlier where I said converting a buff or nullifying a buff is going to cause it to place a shock. So we don't want to put ourselves in that situation where the shock doesn't work out. Now here, you're going to see me retaliate, I think it's right here, and just go to heavy. Nope, it wasn't there. So that one I did it right. There's one I retaliate early with a medium, and I just assumed a shock was there, and she heavy resisted and parried me. So kind of sucked. Now I got Cold Snap. Gonna be eating that. Messed up the game plan just a little bit, but we're not gonna panic here. We're gonna go back to the game plan. We were doing medium, light, heavy when we could, so we're just remembering that that's the game plan. Her high ground charges are getting kind of high. 3 is gonna be quite a bit. But as you're going to see later, the only sketchy part of it, and I threw an SP1 here, I wanted to up my combo a little bit more. The sketchy part here is going to come where she's not going to want to throw SP1. And I can't get a dex buff because she's just not coming in. So I decide to turtle. Now I'm going to go in and throw SP1 so that we can keep her from having an SP2. Still, again, I'm trying to, there's a dex buff, so now the power's gone, but I'm still a little worried, so I decide to block parry to get myself to SB3 and end the fight. So, really, the only sloppy part of this was that medium heavy and it not having a shock there, so I ended up getting parried off a heavy attack, which isn't normal, but of course high ground, or stand your ground, decides to show up at the worst possible time. So, moving on, I think I've gotten too comfortable taking this Mojo fight. This has to be one of the sloppiest ones ever. But mainly because I've gotten sloppy about dexing his SB2 instead of blocking it. So Usual game plan here, parry, finish out a combo with a light ending combo instead of a medium ending combo, so that we have enough reaction time to back out without getting caught by his SB1. And here you're going to see I'm having issues trying to land a parry, even to the point where when I did land one on the third blocked hit, that I didn't actually think it happened. So besides giving him a bunch of power at the start of the fight, we're going kind of smooth here. At some point, I believe it's right here, in baiting out specials, I just lost track of how much light energy I have. So here we're at 10. I believe this is where I start noticing, oh crap, it's disappearing, and that expired. So we're a little too close to our wall. He's got 2 followers now. Here's an SB2. I dex the whole thing. We're fine. Evade counter here so that we don't lose any more light energy like we have. Prompt's not going to work out here, so I'm going to have to dodge an attack. So this is going to push him to SB2 again. And this is the one I just like completely got lazy about the timing on the dex. So we dropped this SB2 with not enough dark energy to drop 2 petrifies. Luckily, we at least have 1. So damage is getting him down, it's ticking away. Probably the sloppiest Mojo fight I've had on this node. So I need to mentally prepare myself a lot better for that fight in the future. RBG lost out. We died 3 times to their 1. Not a good war for our battle group. Not a good war at all for our entire alliance. Just like last season, we've had 2 bad first war starts. And I can't say a lot of it's due to high ground. It's just a lack of focus. Sure, we have to deal with, or we have all the bugs with dexterity and parry timing, but you know, so does everyone else, and people are adjusting fine by the obvious 3 deaths by DSVG. So we just have to do a better job. We are not in a good position to finish top 3, and we weren't last season, which technically we didn't finish top 3 without docking. So don't want it to come down to that. Let's see if everyone gets motivated to kind of pick themselves up and actually pay attention during war. But hope you guys enjoyed the war video. I will see you guys at the next one.